Alrighty, thanks for joining, everyone. Just raise your hands and I will get you the mic.
Hey, John, there was a long stretch of that game that looked different. What changed at the end?
I don't know. I mean, I think Rodriguez pitched well. I think his cutter into the righties was a good pitch for him. I think you get a little bit of momentum there late. Guys start to lock it in a little bit. Not that they weren't early, but I think you got to tip your cap early to Rodriguez. But it just shows the character of this team. I mean, they're not out of it. They're not going to quit. And, we can beat you in a lot of different ways, too.
Yesterday was homers. Today it was sac flies, the bunt by Kiermaier late. Do you think that the ability to do that makes this team better suited for those late and close situations?
Yeah, I'd like to think so, yeah. I think that it is cool to hit the homers last night, and I think tonight you manufacture with the bunt and 2 sac flies and just a base hit up the middle. So it is it's something you got to just be aware of. I think for me, players are aware of it to where there's times where you're going to sit back and let them hit. And there's going to be times where you got to force the issue a little bit. But yeah, it is nice to kind of have some tools to play with late.
Hey, John, from what you've seen from this group, where does the resilience come from?
Character. I mean, these guys have been playing together for a while, a lot of them. And then I think you throw in some new guys that are just, solely focused on winning every single night. Not that we weren't ever, but I just think that, they're supporting one another. It kind of, it started early in spring training, and we've kind of been through it the first 2 weeks. So I think it's just, these guys are hungry to do it. They don't care who it is, who the hero is every night. And, it's been really cool to watch.
They gave out his Gold Glove bobblehead earlier in the night. Then Vladdy has a heck of a night defensively. I guess, what is the evolution you've seen from him over the last few years?
Yeah, good timing for Vlad with bobblehead night. He works his ass off. He did at third base. He does it at first base. Takes a lot of pride in his defense. He's a complete baseball player. I think people see the power and they see the home runs, but Vlad can hit. He's smart. He understands game situations and puts the work in. A lot of the stuff you see during games is because of the work he puts in with Louis and Gil and everyone. So he was pissed at himself for not making a better throw over to third when Baez went. So it's just he's just really good baseball player.
First base defense is kind of overlooked sometimes. How key is it for your whole kind of group to have him at first?
Yeah, I mean, I think it helps out. He's great at balls in the dirt. Unnoticed stuff too, like when he's holding runners and he's kind of deking them a little bit, keeping them close. A lot of that stuff. It's just to have a guy like that over at first, it's a luxury. And you have plus arm strength. If it's a relay throw or even the throw across the diamond tonight.
Before the game, you talked about Gausman, being that stabilizing kind of guy. I guess this supports it today. What did you see from him?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say enough about Kevin tonight. I mean, he was nasty. I mean, 10 or 11 strikeouts? 10, I think. He was dialed in, and I think he's okay. The couple bad pitches that he did make that got hit out. It's just on to the next thing. So it's just you trust that dude in any situation, and he's not going to get rattled. So I think him going back out there in the 8th inning and shutting it down even after the leadoff double. It's like, all right, man, this dude gets it. We know that, but I think just tonight was a perfect example of him just bearing down pitch by pitch.
Congrats on the win. A couple of aggressive plays on the base path that unfortunately didn't go your way. Was that a combination of you always being aggressive and Rodriguez being as good as you said he was? Yeah,
I mean, I think tonight with the one, Vladdy, trying to score, kind of a perfect kick off of the wall, which we're all kind of still learning a little bit, and then 2 perfect throws on a relay, and then Chappie probably got a little bit over anxious because he was running on a 3-2 pitch, trying to go first to third. Perfect world, it's, I think tonight, there's a time to force the issue a little bit and make things happen. But within that, you got to understand, who may come in from the bullpen, what matchup we may have at the plate. So maybe a little bit too aggressive at times, but again, I love the thought of it. I love the thought of guys trying to take the extra base, and still, tonight it took 3 perfect throws to nail 2 runners.
Hey, John, just on Gausman, what's he like in the dugout in between innings on a start where he's going back out 8 times like that?
The same as he is, it's just the same, which is why you feel comfortable. It's he's kind of does his same routine, stays locked in. Next batter, first pitch, what am I going to do? It's just very level-headed. It's just very, just methodical almost.
And that double steal in the middle of the game, what was the explanation you got from the ump there?
Weird one. Umpire's interference. So if the catcher hits the umpire at any point, I don't know if it was his arm or his foot that hit him, the play's just negated and it goes back. Kind of a weird play. But again, we like, I love the fact that Dalton and Witt were ready to go to try to get there second and third, but it was 2 strikes actually on Espy, but love that thought process to try to put pressure on the defense. Umpire interference is a weird one for sure.
Similarly, on the first run, was that defensive interference on Vladdy there at third as he ran the bag?
Yeah, Eric called it right away. I think, the rule is if the runner keeps going, he's going to be awarded the base, and probably caught in between with Javi making a really good play and picking that ball up. And I'm not quite sure if it was, a good job by Vladdy for, keeping going and when he saw the interference, or if it was, a little bit of luck. But that was the call.
And you were talking earlier about the diversification of the offense. Is there something that, knowing that's in the toolkit, can change a little bit the approach in certain situations where instead of guys feeling like they have to swing for the big blow, you guys can maybe play a bit more of an incremental inning and just take one run here and there? Yeah,
I think especially with where you are in the lineup, you can do that. And, I think guys that can handle the bat are key, and whether it's Witt, Espy, you can do a lot of things with those guys. You can hit and run. You can, bunt like KK did and kind of turn it over to the top. So, I think by now, top of the order, we're going to let those guys hit, and I think having some options, in the middle and at the bottom is a really good thing.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.